Another important thing that I would like to mention about the therapist, the best therapy was always expensive. And that's not fair because there are a lot of people that can't pay that. We have special prices for the therapy. Thank you. Before starting my presentation, I'm going to do I'm going to talk a bit about me very briefly. I am Angelica, or Angelica in English, and I am a person who stutters. I am a psychologist, and I now studying at Michigan State University the prerequisite courses of the master degree in speech and language therapy. So, and as I was saying, I'm very happy to be here. And today, what I'm going to talk it's about some important things, some thoughts that I would like to share on my journey, because as many of us who stutter, I've been going through different situations, different experiences that it wasn't positive. It's very common for us to go through that, to being teased, bullying at a school, university. We all know that. But also I experienced that in therapy. Again, as many of us, I went to different speech therapies that try to fix my way of talking. So that was very frustrating as well. And I learned a lot from that too. Now I am the director of a specialized center in stammering. And today, I would like to talk to all of you about these important facts that I would like to share. So, the first one, and one of the things I realized, is the fact. Oh, wait, it's this one, and it's the idea of the treat stuttering. The therapist needs to accept a stutter first. I have a clinic, I have a Stuttering center here in Peru, in South America. And as a part of the activities we organize, we also provide training to speech therapists. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked to my students to do some voluntary stuttering. So I basically asked them to go to the street or to call someone and to do voluntary stuttering. And after that, of course, I also asked them to write a document and to share the experience that they have. All of them are speech therapists. And the document, after reading the documents I received, the 90% of them told me that they feel uncomfortable, that they didn't like to stutter voluntary on the streets, that they feel shame, that they didn't like the experience in general. So, of course, the first thing I said was, I was grateful for their honesty, obviously, but also I told them that it's important that they could practice that voluntary is stuttering till they stop feeling those that shame, and that's how my important fact number one come. To treat a stuttering, the therapist needs to accept a stutter first. As I also always said, we can't ask to our clients to do things that we can do first. So that's why it's very important for them. And I was very, very surprised because basically all of them, and they are almost 50, they told me they feel that. And one more time, if they are going to work with us with Stutter, so it's very important that they can accept it first. Otherwise, well, we all know the client will notice that the therapist is not feeling comfortable with the way to speak it, and of course that could have negative impact on the person too. So this is one of them. Another important thing I realized is that we have to be honest with the treatment we provide. And when I mention this, I know that this could be a little bit controversial, but what I noticed many times, like when I was a child, going to therapy, and now what I see with other speech therapists, is the fact that techniques and speech techniques are fine, but something we need to realize too is that speech techniques are not perfect. We need to realize that speech techniques is not a cure for stuttering. That's very important, because I always have seen, it's easy to think that all the person who stutter needs are ways to speak more fluent, but that's not true. There are other important things too. That's how a phrase of Scott Yarrow always said, that stuttering is more than just stuttering. There are other aspects there too that we also need to work. And one more time, be honest with the treatment. Don't say that the techniques will be there, because no one can control their way to speak 24/7. Sometimes they are going to stutter, and that's fine. And yeah, I'm not saying that speech techniques are bad. I'm not saying that. It's just they are not perfect, and our clients, they deserve to know that too. Otherwise, they will, if they try to use these techniques and they don't work, they will feel bad. They could feel that it's their fault. They could feel that they are doing it bad. But sometimes, as I always say, techniques are not perfect. Techniques is not a cure. It's not that the person can learn the techniques. And yes, sometimes they can do it without thinking of them. But it's not every time they talk. That happens sometimes, but it's not every time they talk. So our client needs to know that too. They have to know those things. And one more time, be honest with the treatment that we provide. And the last one is that the more we can offer resources for speech therapists, the more they will know about how to treat stuttering. And that's why I really like events like this. I really like events where this is for free, just for the pleasure of share, just for those things. And that's very, very important too. Because unfortunately, not all the speech therapists, especially I have seen that out here in Peru, they do have salaries to go to every congress that there are. And so we need to help them too. And we need to create more free activities. We need to look for ways to share information for all of them. When I start my clinic, I start with the idea of I want my clinic, I want my center as a place to learn, as a place where every speech therapist can find information, can find state-of-the-art information about stuttering, no matter no matter how their economical situation is. And because that's how they could improve their treatment, and how more people who stutter will receive a better treatment too. So that's very important too. And on this last 10 minutes, I would like to share a bit about my clinic. And as I was saying, this is my team. Well, a couple of guys are missing on the photo, the web designer and the accountant. But it's my team. I always say my clinic is going great for all of them. It's not just me. So I'm very, very happy for them too. The phrase we always said is that we are working for people who stutter and their families. We provide treatment for those who stutter, but also training for the speech therapists or the psychologists and things like that. We have done different activities. Of course, this one was before COVID. but now we are keep going online. And as I was saying, this is the YouTube channel of my clinic. This is an amazing place to learn. I have some interviews to experts like Ali Marquez, Christopher Constantino, Jane Harley from the Michael Palin Center, Scott Jarus, Nina Reeves, Nina G, and more. And the idea of this is to bring information and make it accessible to everybody. That's the most important thing. And as I always say, you'll only need a couple of clicks and you will be listening to someone really important on this topic. And especially because in Spanish, the amount of people that speak English is very, very, very minimum. So that makes even more complicated for them to receive updated information about stuttering, because we know that everything is in English, and in also in America we speak Spanish, so that make it even harder for a lot of them. We also do we have some guests. Our last guest in one of our courses was said Kitchener from Michigan State University. We have done stuttering centers meetings like a congress. The last year was with the Michael Palin Center, the Center in Canada, the American Institute for Stuttering here in the US. So I'm very, very happy for that too. And of course, now we are working mainly online because COVID didn't allow that. And I'm also very happy to mention that we provide training to speech therapists from different countries, to 23 countries till now. And I'm very, very happy for that too. I saw someone on the chat asking for the link. I didn't mention the link of the YouTube channel or website. Well, I can share it too, of the YouTube channel. The videos are in English, which is great also to you can listen. But of course, the videos have the subtitles in Spanish too, for the Latin American community of speech therapists, or just people interested in general to know about this. And this was my brief presentation. I hope that it can be that could have been useful. I'm also member of family. I'm part of the committee of content. So yeah, I'm trying to help. As I always said, I know that I can change the world, but at least I think it's important to start to work more on this, especially in my community of speech and language pathologists and psychologists in South America that have more complicated this access to the information because of the difference on the language. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and I'm going to share the link of the YouTube channel. Does someone ask on the chat?
Yeah. Just one question I had, Angelica, was could you speak at all just about the the cultural dynamics of stuttering in Latin America, and how it's seen by the families and companies there?
Yes, sure. Oh, and by the way, I just put a link of the YouTube channel on the chat for someone that asked for it. And well, in Peru, we have different organizations about stuttering, like non-profit organizations. And then it's my center, but we always do activities for free as well, of course. And in general, in South America, there are some, unfortunately, there are countries like Bolivia and Uruguay that they don't have any association related to stuttering yet. I hope there can be more soon. But there are other countries like Argentina or Brazil with a lot of organizations and very big ones that work a lot too on this topic. But it's a lot about it. Like there are some countries, as I was saying, that they don't have any center or any organization, but there are others that have very, very big ones. So that's great too.
Hi. I had a question or two questions, and thank you for your presentation. So actually, I live in New York, and in a community that's like predominantly Hispanic, or from Spanish speaking. So like, do you kind of like is it possible for someone who lives here to kind of like get their therapy from your center in Spanish?
Yes, now that everything is online, we are giving training and treatment too, and now everything can be done by Zoom. So that's, great too.
Yeah.
That we can reach more people. And another important thing that I would like to mention about the therapist is that a thing I didn't like, it was that the best therapy was always expensive. And that's not fair because there are a lot of people that can't pay that. So what we do in our clinic is that we have like a program for those who can afford the regular prices, and they have like special prices for the therapy. But also we know that there are some people that can't pay therapy no matter if it's cheap because they don't have the money. So thanks to donations from people from the US especially, we are giving now therapy for free, which is great. And I'm also very happy and I'm very grateful for that, for the donations that we are receiving.
Nice. And my like just second quick question is like, do you have like online support groups in Spanish, like for adults and then also for teens maybe?
No, because there is a non-profit organization that do that, but they do it very well. So when we need to, when we want to like send someone to a support group, we talk with them because they work very well. I'm going to type the name here in the chat. That's the name. And they were, in English, that means speak freely. And they share our vision of acceptance and because that's important too, otherwise could be counterproductive for that therapy. And thank you for your question.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Michael. Just want to say hi to Michael and Jeff and everyone else.
Hi, guys. Angelica, thank you. I'm from California, so Spanish speakers are all over the place and therapists. I like the fact that you're a psychologist. I come from mental health, behavioral health, and I like the idea of speech therapy being broken into, like, for people who stutter and for you to deal with CBT, anxiety and depression, and stuttering for the speech therapist. And I like your ideas about your clinic and bringing that to the forefront, because in the behavioral health world, like we look at diabetes, we look at alcoholism in that way. And I think that's the direction that stuttering therapy will be going. So it was really great to hear that you're a part of that movement. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. And I will travel to California in a couple of weeks, so I will send you a message.